Hi everyone, welcome to the day 9 session on Selenium WebDriver online training. So today we will be learning Maven and TestNG. Okay, uh, this is like TestNG we already started learning, but today we will be learning advanced part of a TestNG. And Maven, we are going to start with a Maven, and maybe today or maybe tomorrow we will complete with a Maven as well. So the very first thing is, let me create a new project to demonstrate or to explain the advanced features which are coming from a test ng. So let me close the project. All right, file, new. See, one more thing. Also, we will be learning Maven at the same time. Do not mix up TestNG and Maven, but we will be learning both today. So let's get started with the Maven first, and then I will come to TestNG. So what? My voice is breaking. Not a. Okay, just a second, guys. For others also, my voice is breaking. Okay, thank you very much for reply. Rupa, can you please check your internet connection, internet speed? I think this is because of internet speed. Thanks, Rishikesh. All right. Yeah. So what I was saying is, let me create a new project. But so far, what we were doing is we created a Java project. Okay. And today onwards, I won't be using a Java project. The reason is we will be learning Maven. So let's go to others. Okay. And see, I am again repeating the same lines. Today onwards, we won't be using um Java project. Okay. Do not use Java project today onwards. We have to use Maven project. Okay. So let me find out where is Maven is. Okay, I saw a Maven here. So there is a Maven. Okay, and you just need to click on the Maven project. The simple thing, if you're not able to find out a Maven, just type Maven. Okay, if you are not see, this is the Maven project. Even if you're typing Maven and still you're not able to see Maven project here, that implies to that might be because of two reasons. First is you are using very old Eclipse version. You are not using Eclipse Mars or Eclipse Neon or Eclipse Oxygen, which is the latest at this moment. So I always recommend to use Eclipse Neon, Mars or Oxygen because those Eclipse uh, built-in contains Maven. You don't have to install Maven separately. But let's say you don't have latest Eclipse and still you wanted to use the older Eclipse only, then you will have to install Maven to Eclipse plugin manually. Okay, Maven to Eclipse plugin. So this is also known as M2E plugin or Eclipse Maven integration plugin. Okay, guys, if you remember that one day we learned about how to install a TestNG plugin with a Eclipse. So it is similar to that only. Okay, it's similar to that only. So I will just tell you how to install a Maven window. Sorry, go to help, Eclipse Marketplace. 。 . 。 。 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . . 。 . 。 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . Okay, it's similar to that only. So I will just tell you how to install a Maven will take some time to load because it uses the online repository to search into the repos. So go here and just type m2e, enter. Okay. Let me check if it is shown here. Maven. See, can you see that Maven integration for Eclipse? Luna and newer version. Luna is the version of Eclipse, So this is what you need to install. You can see that I have already installed it. The reason is I don't have to install. It comes built in with the Eclipse. Okay, so make sure you are using Eclipse Mars or Neon or Oxygen. Okay, fine. Okay, yes, Abhishek.
Just one thing I want to know. What exactly the thing happened? I mean, test only was doing good. Why Maven has been introduced? What the exactly news
Very
it is
good.
all about?
Yes. I will be covering to that. This is just a prerequisite that before starting Maven, you should have installed it. So I just cover that. But we are yet to learn Maven. So today we will be learning Maven and TestNG. These are two different tools. Do not mix up, with their functionality or anything. Maven has its own advantage, and TestNG is a different tool. TestNG cannot replace Maven, or Maven cannot replace a TestNG. Okay, those are different tools. I will be covering to that. Before that, let's go through the questions that Savita and Gaurav has. Thank you.
Sure.
So, first question from Savita. Vikas, please explain when a bug is found in automation testing. That time, the process for locking a bug in today project. If a bug is found, please explain that time. I mean, I know the Bugzilla process in a manual, but automation, what is the process? Okay. Sure, Savita, I will cover to this question, but I think this is not relevant to the current topic. So I will just tell you I will just give you a brief answer. So in C, it is when automation is executed, we get automation test report. An automation test report contains test case with pass and fail status. So let's say there are 100 test cases. Out of 100, there are 10 test cases fail and 90 test cases passed. So we ignore past test cases. We only focus on failed test case. And what we do is we manually execute that 10 test cases. We try to find out, was that a script issue? Is it because of the wrong automation script that test case is failing? Or is there something changed in the application? Is it because of no such element exception or what? So let's say it is because of no such element exception, just assume. And then we try to find out why it is no such element exception. Is it because of synchronization issue? If it is synchronization issue, that means it's automation issue. If it is something else, let's say the page is not loaded or that element is really not there, it is broken or something, then that means this is a bug. So we conclude that whether it is a bug or is it not a bug. So if it is a bug, then only we go to any defect tracking tool, like you are using a Bugzilla, and we create a defect manually. That's a complete manual process. The manual process starts onwards there. So this is how we do for automation testing. I guess if you found a bug using automation testing, we need to log defect manually only. As for each defect, the description and steps are recreated are different. Exactly right, Gaurav. Thank you very much for helping Savita to understand. What's the difference between Maven and Ant? Very good question. Okay, I might have missed this topic. So thanks, Piyush, for asking this question. See, there was a time Maven, nobody was using Maven, and it was just an Ant. So Ant is a build management tool, or it's a build tool. Okay, this is also like one of the interview question. Some people ask this question. Uh, what is the difference between Ant and Maven? What are the advantages of Maven over Ant? So Ant versus Maven, Ant is a build management tool, build tool in short, you can say. Okay, whereas Maven is a project management tool. Okay, guys, other thing about interview is, I have seen so many people are using a wrong word for the tools category. So can you tell me, guys, let me ask you guys question. What is JIRA? What type of tool it is? Can anyone answer, please, on Skype chat?
That's a defect management tool.
Hmm. Okay, Piyush answered this question. Defect tool. Then defect management tool from Prashant. Amit Pandey. Project management tool. Defect plus project management. Project management. It is a test case management tool. Defect tracking tool. Test management tool. So you see that, every person has a different opinion about it. Some people say it's a defect management tool, some people say it's a project management tool, some people are saying it is a test management tool. Guys, I hope you are able to hear my voice clearly. Okay, so the answer is Jira is a project management tool. Okay, and in project management, test management or test case management or test management is a subpart of project management. See, when I say project management, it covers the development as well as testing. Okay, not only testing. So, you know, yes, Piyush, we do both actually. So that is why it is project management tool. It is not only a test management tool, or it is not only a defect management tool. It's a project management tool, and defect management or test case management, that's a sub part of a project management. So don't refer Jira as a tracking tool or defect management tool. It is a project management tool, and this bug tracking and defect management, or test management is a sub part of a project management. But if you are talking about a Bugzilla, so Bugzilla or Mantis, or there are many actually bug tracking tool. Those are just a bug tracking tool or defect tracking tool. If you're talking about quality center or HPALM, that's a test management tool. It is not a project management tool. If we are talking about HP QC quality center or HPALM, application lifecycle management. So most of the time, people refer incorrect word to the project. So let's come back and see Maven. As I said, it's a project management tool, but it is not going to replace Jira. When I say it is a project management tool, that means it is for Java project that we create in Eclipse. It is not about the project process. Okay, I hope the difference between Maven and Jira is clear. Maven and Jira, those are different tool. Maven is a project management tool, but Maven is actually a Java project management tool. Okay, Java project management tool, it means the project that we create in Eclipse, that project is managed. So Jira is different. Jira is talking about the project process. Let's come back to Ant. Ant. When I say Ant is a build tool, that means it helps to compile project. Okay, build project compilation. It means it is also referred as a building process. Build project, run test. Publish report, deploy it, and something like that. So this is all you can do. You can also manage class path. Okay, but all these things is also done by with Maven. All these things, almost all these things is done by Maven. Maven also support all of this thing, compiling project, building project, running a test case, deploying it to somewhere, some location, creating a jar file and war file or deployable package, that way. It also manages the class path. Class path means adding the different libraries, that way. But the major differences, let's talk about, these are similarities. Let's talk about the differences. When I say build management tool, it will only help me to build the project. Building a project means compiling, then creating the different artifact, running the unit test cases, integration test cases, system test cases, and deploying it to somewhere. This is what the build process. But this will not help you. There are some actually problems with the ant. Another similarity is both tools are from Apache. Okay, Apache Software Foundation. So Apache Software Foundation, it's a really a big software open source application development foundation. They have lots of tool. You might have heard about JMeter. This is also a tool from Apache. Maven is from Apache. TestNG is from Apache. Apache Zipline. If you have heard about Hadoop, SparkDB. I'm not sure about SparkDB. Zipline, then there are lots of tools from Apache. If you want, you can go to apache.org. You will get the different tools list. And even Apache has so many libraries like Apache Common IO, Apache HTTP client for Java. Those are very popular libraries for Java. So Apache Software Foundation, they have very huge contribution in developing the libraries for Java and the open source community basically. So both tools are from Apache, and TestNG was the older one. Sorry, Ant was old, whereas Maven is a new tool. Maven replaced Ant. So initially there was only Ant tool most of the project, but with the release of Maven replaced Ant all the projects. Ant was using a build.xml, whereas Maven is using pom.xml. Okay, Ant is using build.xml, whereas Maven uses pom.xml. What is pom.xml, that we will be covering. Okay, right now just don't worry about it. Other thing is the libraries managed offline. Okay, you had to download all the jar files in some folder and then add that jar file as a dependency to your project. But in case of a Maven, the libraries are downloaded automatically. Okay, other thing with the build is plugins was not there. We will learn about what is a Maven plugin. So in case of a build, plugins were not there, but in POM we have a plugins, and this plugins gives lots of features to Maven also. So these are like two major features that we use. There are other differences also, like let's say life cycle. Lifecycle phases are there in pom.xml. Before compiling do this, then compile, then after compiling do this, and then go to the next phase as test. That way we can actually have a life cycle in a pom. So I think I covered the differences and similarities into Ant is a just a build tool, whereas Maven is a project management tool. And when I say project management tool, it also covers the build tool also. So if somebody is referring Maven as a build tool, nothing wrong in it, but Maven is not only a build tool, it is a project management tool which gives more features. Let me check if you have any questions. Okay, but in Maven we configure build also. Yeah, I think I answered this query. So Maven is not just a project management tool. See, project management tool, when I say it also covers the build tool. All right, so I covered few differences. The major difference, the noticeable difference you can see that this one. So library is managed offline. You had to download all the jar files, add that as a dependencies to your project. But here, these libraries are downloaded from internet. You don't have to download and store it as offline. Then plugins, which gives more features to Maven, and lifecycle features are there in Maven. All right, so let's see the question. Okay, but in Maven we configure the build also. What are the version? About a Maven, I think latest is 3.5 or maybe 3.6 if they have, if they haven't released, if they have released, so the best way is to check maven.org. Oh, not Maven dot, sorry, it is this maven.apache.org. Okay, it's maven.apache.org, and then check the latest version. Let me find out where is the version. Go to download. Okay, see, 3.5 is the latest version. Still, they haven't released anything new, and 3.5 was released on which date? I think they released in 2016, I guess. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll need to find it out. Release notes, okay, is now available for download. I don't see a date when they have released it. So before that we had a 3.4, 3.2, 3.1, then 2 dot, the different thing. All right, so I hope I answered your query. Okay, let's go to project. Okay, I wanted to create a Maven project. So let's get started with a Maven project. I will cover what is Maven, why we need to use Maven, what are the features of Maven and advantages. Oops. Oops. Okay. So, okay, just go to other, type Maven, so Maven project. Okay, don't forget to check this checkbox, So create a simple project. You need to tick this and say next. Artifact ID, it is similar like giving a package name. That is like in my case, I will give like com.vicas.training. So most of the time you will see package names like com, that means it's a commercial project. Then company name, let's say com.abc corporation dot some other maybe technology, something like that, you will see. Then artifact ID is the actual project name. So every Maven project has three mandatory things. First is group ID, second is artifact ID, and third is version. These are mandatory, okay, you must give it. So artifact ID I'm going to specify here is first Maven. Even most of the time this artifact ID is also written in a lowercase. So I will write first and separated by hyphen. First Maven project. This is I'm not sure, but this is the generally standard people follow across all the Maven projects. And the version name is, you can give any version name if you want. Let's say I wanted to have 0.1 or 1.0, something like that. But generally, let's keep that version as a default. Or okay, 0.0.1 snapshot. Snapshot means This project is under development. This version is under development. It is not released yet. So this is just a snapshot of the current state. Okay, that snapshot may not be a final version release. So that is the indicator of a snapshot. Packaging, will keep it jar. If it is web application which is deployed on a server, then we use var, and pom is used for the parent projects. So we are not worrying about pom and var. We will be only keeping the default, that is jar is like a library. So I will say finish. Let's wait for some time. See, it's a Maven project. So guys, whenever you are creating a Maven project, make sure that you are connected to internet. If you're not connected to internet, Maven project will not work. So always make sure that Maven project, while creating a Maven project, you are connected to internet. So can you see some folder structure is already defined? So this folder structure is predefined by the Maven. That is like one of the reason why it is known as a project management tool. So it defines your project structure. Maven defines project structure. Okay. When I say defines project structure, that means it gives packages and folders where to write which script. So example, just give me a second. Sorry. So I was saying, defining a project, it means creating the right folder for the code. So let me cover the simple project structure. It has for two folders initially: src, sorry, main, and then test. You will see first main folder and then test folder. So inside a main folder, this is for, yeah.
Like, may I know, like, what is the reason for connecting to internet every time while using Maven?
Just allow
Library from Maven?
just allow me some time. You will automatically realize. Let me finish up with Maven. Once we are done with the Maven, you can ask me this question. uh, okay, thank you guys. I just need your little bit patience because I'm middle of some topic, and so let me finish up this. You will automatically realize why we need internet connection. Okay, so I'm talking about the project structure. First is main. So main is a place where we write the source code of the application. Okay, so let's say I have an application ABC. So the same project, ABC project, will have source code of that application as well as test cases to test that application. Okay, this is the high level structure of a Maven project, a general simple Maven project, which is having two folder. One is Maven, sorry, one is main, and second folder is the test. So main will contain the source code of the application, whereas test will contain the test cases. Again in each of these two folder there will be two subfolder. So one is src and other is resources. There will be again two folders in each of this folder. Let's say main src, main resource. Again, the same folder for test src, and test resource folder will be there. So src, it will be containing java files. That means source code, and resources means the required configuration, the required files. Example is data, excel file or some data file, xml file, xml, or some configuration, like log4j configuration or any configuration for that matter. So this will go in resources. I hope this is clear now. So the same structure goes to src test. So let's go to the project. Can you see that src main java? That means it should contain, that means the first, it should contain the source code. Okay, but source code of what? Source code of the main application which we are testing. src main resource means those resource files which are used in the source code. src test java, these are test cases. The test cases we will write it here. So we will write test cases in src test. src test java, we will write test cases. And src test resource, we will be writing the resource files, maybe test suites, test data, and some such a kind of configuration files we will be writing in the src test resource. So yeah, so this is the project structure. Let's move on to next. See, JIRA system library, right now I'm seeing 1.5 as a default. Okay, you can edit this. I wanted to use JIRA system library 1.8. So just right click on the project, go to properties, Java build path, and I will say edit JIRA 1.8. Okay, this is JDK 1.860. That is what I'm saying. Finish, apply. Okay, most of the time for a Maven project you might see 1.5 or something. Just change it to JDK 1.8. Next is the this is a folder and this is package kind of thing. This icon is different. You can see this is like a normal folder. This folder is displayed something like this. So I'm just opening, see, src main and test. That means src main, src main, src test, and src test. This is nothing different. It is the same folder. If I delete main here, automatically main will be deleted from here, that way. So don't do anything here. Next is a target folder. Is a temporary folder for all the temporary classes that all the temporary class files are the bytecode which is generated. If you don't know bytecode, it is temporary code or temporary files which is generated while any Java program is compiled. And POM is the it's the very important file if it is a Maven project. Okay, POM stands for project object model. Project object model. Page object model and project object model is different. Do not get confused with page object model. This is a project object model. So if I open that XML, this is basically the configuration to the Maven, configuration to your project. Okay, so as I said, every Maven project has three mandatory things. First is group ID, similar like a package name. Second is the artifact ID. This is actually a project name. Can you see the project name is coming up here? First Maven project. So this is your project name. And third is the version. Okay, so these are three mandatory things you should have. If it is a Maven project, then pom.xml is the most important file in your project. Okay, so make a note of this. We will learn why it is important and what are the things that we do with a inside a pom.xml. Let me check if you guys have any questions. Okay, what's the difference? Okay, this is we already covered. Defect management 2, defect test management. Okay, test management. When we are finished our project, at that time no need of snapshot. Not exactly, Savita. We will be removing snapshot when we wanted to release a version of a project. Let's say I think right now there are the code is stable. I wanted to release a 1.0. I will remove snapshot and I will just rename as 1.0, and that way. What is the reason to be connected to internet while using a Maven? I will cover that question, Amit. Piyush, can we only supported XML? Can we only supported XML files? I think you mean to ask, is our project can only support XML? So no, it may use any kind of file. It is just basically a Java. Let's say if you write a normal file input output string, it may support the CSV. If you use Apache PY client library, it will support reading Excel files. or you can also use open CSV project for reading writing CSV files. You can use the XML parsers, maybe DOM parser for reading XML file, or you can use any binary files as well. It depends on you what you wanted to do. It's basically Java, and Java gives you a freedom. You just need to write the code for it. Okay. um, okay, so far the project is created, it is completely blank. If guys, we will be writing the test scripts, so as a part of a test script that should go in src test java. Okay, let me close that. Src test java, right click, new, and there we will be writing our classes. So let's say my or altero mutual login, or let's say red bus, red bus um test, not bug, it's a bus test, or just keep it test. So this is general naming convention. To the test classes we give name something, red bus, and if it is a public class, the file name and class name must be same. So let's rename that file name, rename compilation unit to this. Okay, it is done. So the general naming convention for writing any test suite is, for writing any test class, is that class should end with test word. Okay, this is the general convention, but not mandatory. In that test I need to write @test, but guys, can I see @test here? What we generally do is we download a jar or we add a library. So going to this project, properties, library, java build path and libraries. Okay, there you see Maven and JIRA. Guys, if your project is a Maven, do not add any dependency, any jar file or any library from here. Again, I'm repeating this sentence. If you are using a Maven project, do not add any jar file directly to build path or any library also. So I'm not adding anything. Okay, so if you want to add a library or a jar file, then we use pom.xml. So let's go to pom.xml. Now what I want is, I want to add dependency of testng. Okay, so my project, I wanted to say that my Maven project is depend on testng. This is what I want to say. So this is done using dependencies tag. Can you see control space? I'm saying dependencies tag, and there I will specify a dependency. So let me first specify a dependency. So I wanted to add a dependency for what? I want to add a dependency for testng. So let's say testng maven. I'm just googling it. So testng maven, you can see. Open that first link. Most of the time you get a result in a first link if you say something like this, and there you see a dependency tag. Okay, this is what we need. You see a dependency tag. Okay, this is what we need. I'm just copying that, paste it here, say Control Shift F. Control Shift F is a shortcut key for formatting your code or a XML file. So dependencies, okay, dependencies is having a tag dependency, and dependency is having a group ID as org.testng, artifact ID as testng, version as 6.8. As I said, every Maven project has three things mandatory. And then scope I will just remove it. It is just optional. I'm removing that scope. Okay, other thing is 6.8 version is what I have copy pasted from here, but I would like to use 6.9.10. let me check. I'm saying Control S. See, it is taking some time. Let's wait until that progress bar finishes. If you are doing it for the first time, it will take some time. Okay, now the reason is why, what actually happened. So I'm just going here. Can you see a Maven dependencies here? Just expand that. and now you are able to see testng jar, J commander jar, and bsh. Now this has happened because I added a dependency tag under dependencies, and this dependency is 6.9.10 version. So if you want, see, read about this. That testng is 6.9.10. It is coming from this folder. The folder is C drive users vikas.m2. So .m2 folder is the repository folder. This is local repository. We say as a local repository. So what, when as soon as when you add this tag, see, I'm just removing it. I said Control S. The jar file should get deleted. Can you see that there is no Maven dependencies here? Now I'm just adding that Maven dependency tag, saying Control S. As soon as I say Control S, what Maven will do is, Maven will automate the Maven plugin which is there with the Eclipse. What it will do is, it will go over a Maven repository. No, first it will go to the local repository. The local repository, I showed you the path, right? The path is c:/users / then give your name Vikas, and then /.m2. That is the folder name. I'm just saying .m2. It has a repository. This is known as a local repository, and it has so many folders. You might find, maybe initially you may not have this many folder, but it will have many folders. So again, what is it? What is the group ID? It is org. Then testng. Let's go to org. org, yes. Then testng. Yep. And see, group ID is done. Now next part is artifact ID. What is the artifact ID? It is testng. So go to testng folder. Now what is next? Next is the version. So what is the version? 6.9.10. Let's find out 6.9.10 version. See, 6.9.10. And there you see a jar file. Can you see a jar file here? Testng 6.9.10.jar. This is the jar file which is automatically downloaded from Maven. Okay, somebody asked me why we need internet. So what Maven does is, first it will check whether I have that testng jar file into my local repository. If it is not available, it will go over internet and it will automatically download the respective jar file. So that is the reason we need to have a Maven. So Maven, everything everything it actually downloads automatically from internet. Whatever is required, it might be plugin, it might be jar, or it might be anything which automatically downloaded from internet. That's the reason we need a internet. So guys, if you are doing it for the first time, maybe it will take maybe 2 to 5 minutes based on your internet connection to download that jar file. So we added one dependency. Okay, what is the remaining other dependency that we need? What is the other dependency that we need? Yes, absolutely right, Prashant. We need Selenium dependency. So now testng is done. Right now, just now we added a dependency test to testng. Am I right? Okay. So now it is time to add a dependency to Selenium. Testng is done. You can see that Maven and this jar file is also added here. Okay. Now let's go to Selenium. So if you are new to Maven, so just simply say, let's say, Selenium Maven. Okay, Selenium Maven dependency. Most of the time you get result in the first URL only. Just open it. See, this is seleniumhq.org, which is the official website. Previously we used testng, and that was also from official website. So on the official website, you see download, and to the left hand side Maven information. Just click on that. It will give you the Maven dependency tag. So I'm just copying it and paste it here. After pasting, I will say Control Shift F for better formatting, and then I will just say Control S. So if I say Control S, the first thing what Maven will do, see, it is building a project. So what it will do is, it will go to the .m2 folder, will check whether the Selenium jar file is there or not. If it is not there, then go to internet and download it and then add it into your project. What are the various dependencies added in Maven? That's a question from Piyush. What are the various dependencies added in Maven? Right now, I just added two dependencies. One is TestNG and other is Selenium. But you can add as many as you want. I think is this is your question? So right now I just added two, right? This is one and this is second dependency. So see, this is one dependency tag, that means first one. This is another dependency tag, it is starting and it is ending. This is the ending tag. So there are two dependencies right now added. Any other question? Can we go through the add a dependency from Maven repository? What is exactly that, Prashant? I didn't get your question. Can we go through add dependency from Maven repository? We added in form.xml, right? I mean, this is how we did. Prashant, we added TestNG and Selenium, right? What is local repository? Local repository means collection of that jar files which is stored on your local computer, and this is stored by automatically by Maven. We don't do anything. How do we locate remote repository? Okay, there are many remote repositories available. I will just tell you the official one. The official remote repository is maven.org. Just open this website. maven.org is the official uh, online repository. Central, it is also known as the central repository, you know. So this is the official repository, but there is one more of unofficial repository, that is mvnrepository.com. This is also another official Maven repository, but whatever we write by default is actually from official. So let's say I wanted to say testng. I'm just hitting enter. So testng is having, you know, it is coming from so many what do you say, this testng name is matching with so many repositories. So let's go with the first one. It is the group ID is com dot something something and then testng. Are we interested into this group ID and this test artifact ID? No. Let's go to next. Next is org.testng and the artifact ID is testng. Okay, so this is what I have given. Group ID is org.testng and artifact ID is testng. This is the official testng. Okay, so the latest version available is 6.11. If you want to see all version, click on all. So it will list down the all version and their release dates also, published date basically. So the version that I specified is 6.9.10. This is the version that I am using because I don't have Eclipse Oxygen, you know, I'm not using Eclipse Oxygen. If you are using Eclipse Oxygen, you can go with the latest version, but it is always better to stick with some version and, you know, check the stability of the latest version and then only use it. So I'm using 6.9.10, which is sufficient, though it is a older release, still, you know, it is helping me with all the features that I need. If you want to try, you can go with the 6.11 also, but make sure that the testng plugin with your Eclipse must be 6.11. Okay, so I'm just going to help. There I see a testng and my testng plugin is installed is 6.10. So that is the reason I'm using 6.9.10 in my Maven, because if you use 6.11 it may have a major changes and the current Eclipse plugin may not support it. So you might have to update your Eclipse plugin to the latest version or use 6.9.10. I would prefer to use 6.9.10 version. So 6.9.10 is the version that I am using, but the latest version of testng is 6.11. It was released in March 2017. So let's go to 6.9.10. Click on version. There you get a dependency tag. Okay, this is the dependency tag. You see it here. This is what you see is the maven.org. It's the official website of a Maven. Unofficial is this, you just go it here and search for, let's say, testng. Okay, you get the org.testng group id, artifact id is testng. Just click on testng, it should ask you what version you want. So latest version is 6.11. Before that it was a 6.10. I'm using 6.9.10, so just click on 6.9.10, and this is the dependency tag. Even you can copy the dependency tag from here also. Okay, let me check questions. What is local repository? I said local repository, I think I answered that question. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I already answered that question. So local repository is the collection of all the jar files stored on your local computer. This local repository is created by Maven. So what Maven does is Maven checks if you have that jar file in your local, then use it directly from local. If it is not there, then Maven will download it from central repository and store it into local. So just now I showed you two central repositories. This is the official central repository of Maven. If you want to download the jar file directly from here, you can actually do it. I need to find out a path. You can actually do it, but it is more easier in unofficial repository. Just go here and click on download jar. So this download jar will directly give you that jar file. We don't need it, we don't need it because Maven will automatically do that job for us for downloading a jar, storing it into some folder, into local repository, adding that repository into, or adding that library into the project. So all this thing will be done by Maven automatically. Okay, next is 6.9.10 is the version that I used. Now going here, Maven dependencies. See, I specify how many like dependencies. I said testng and Selenium Java. But when you go to the Maven dependencies, you see a huge list of jar files. Some of the jar files are having name as Selenium, Selenium, Selenium. Some is like, testng. Few are like common codec, common IO, common logging, JSON, Gava, Hamcrest, HTTP client, that is coming from Apache. Jetty is also coming from Apache. Uh, there are so many jar files are added into your project. Now the reason is why. Can anyone answer this question? Why? Why not just two libraries? Why it is having so many jar files added into Maven dependencies? Any guess, guys? Why so many jar files are added into your under your Maven repository? All required setup like browser driver and rest. Those all running the project. There is Selenium jar files dependencies. Very good answer from Piyush. Okay. Yes, definitely agree. Those all are required. Okay. And the reason is why multiple jar file is, see, if you are using a normal Selenium project, okay, let's open any older project, let's say Selenium practice, open it. There I see reference jar file, only one jar file is added. Okay. And src, but if you expand that jar file, there are so many packages. Okay, there are so many packages. You see it, let's say google.com dot something, google.common, google.json, sun.platform, sun dot something, javax dot something, net dot source force dot something, apache libraries, this is apache common, this is apache common io, this is apache http client libraries. So you can see that so many different packages. But the difference is This one jar file with the memory size how much? Let me find out the memory size of that jar. Just hold on a second. Oops. Okay. Why it is taking so long time? Okay, can anyone answer what is the memory size of Selenium server standalone 3.4.0 approximately? What is the memory size? No answer? Guys, are you able to listen or 500 MB? That's too much, Prashant. No, 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 no. 500 MB is too much. It's not like half of the GB. It is hardly like a 20 to 30 MB file. So let me show you that. I have it in E drive, E colon slash software. So looks like Prashant and Piyush, you are just Googling and finding it out. You don't have that jar file on your local computer. Why you need to Google it? Okay, so let's go to software. Selenium. And see, this is the jar file I'm talking about. So the memory size is 20.7 MB. Okay, it is not 500 MB. I don't know why you said 500 MB and which website is telling you this lie. Okay, Prashant, you don't have a jar file? That's uh, annoying, really, because we have been learning from many days. It's like ninth day we have started learning Selenium and still you don't have a jar file. That's weird. Oh, okay. You mean to say no, no, I have a jar. Okay, fine, no problem. All right, so let's go back to the project and see. This is like 20 MB file, but when I am talking about the Maven project, where is the Maven project? Yeah, this Maven project. Just expand that Maven dependency and find out Selenium Java. Okay, Selenium Java and find out its memory. I'm just right clicking it, show in project explorer. Let's say properties. I wanted to get this path actually. I don't know how can I copy this path, but it is C drive M2 repository org, then Selenium HQ, then Selenium folder. Okay, let's go there by manually. Org Selenium HQ, then Selenium Java, and latest version is 3.4.0, and then you see a jar file. So this jar file is how much memory size? Can you see that? It is just a 1 KB. So that Selenium Java is just a 1 KB, but the problem is this file is again dependent on other Java project, Maven project. So you see a pom.xml, just open that pom.xml, this pom file, and there you see dependencies again. See, this project, Selenium Java project, is depend on Selenium API, Selenium Cron driver, Selenium Edge driver, Selenium Firefox driver, Selenium I driver, Selenium Opera driver, Selenium Remote driver, Selenium Safari driver, Selenium support, and some CG lib, common exec, common lang, common codec, common IO, common logging, SSE. These are different projects on which this Selenium Java is dependent. JSON, common Goa, Hamtrest core, HTML unit, HTML unit core.js, Neko HTML unit, HTTP client, HTTP core, HTTP MIME, Jetty, Jetty util, JNA, JNA platform, JUnit, Phantom JS driver, HTML unit driver, Java X Servlet API, WebSocket API, WebSocket client, WebSocket common, serializer, Zelen, then something. Okay, there are many basically. So as you can see, these all are what? These all are dependencies, like the same way we added in our project. So now you can imagine that like one project is dependent on many project. So that is the reason other jar files are also added to the project as a reference. I hope this clear the answer. Okay, so this is it. The first task is done. Adding dependency to the project is done. How we added is going to the pom.xml, copy pasting this dependency tag. Next time I won't be searching on a Google, because now I know that which tag I have to copy paste. So it is time to write the @test. I'm just saying @test control space. Can you see that option? org.testng annotations. Okay, let's write a test case. Public start public void, let's say test something. I wanted to say that test. Okay, what to test on red bus first, identify that. Before configuring Maven, is it necessary to setting environment variable? No Piyush, you do not need to set any environment variable, at least for now. Maybe tomorrow I will be touching that part also. So let's do one thing. Open a redbus.in website. Oops, it's down. Oh, I typed, it's my mistake. It's a redbus. Okay, so let's say this is the location for a red bus, and what I want to do is let's perform, click on here and then click on sign in or sign up. Okay, so you see this UI. We can also go and search a location. Okay, I will say no thanks. Fine. So or you can change your location. Let's say I wanted to use my location as Mumbai. Just click on this drop down and click on some location maybe. So that you can do. Or I wanted to set a Pune, but I don't see Pune location. Going to other. See, I'm not getting option to set a Pune location now, which is odd. Oops, no. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is you can automate any functionality. I'm just choosing or picking up a test scenario that I can automate. So let's say this is the website. Okay, let's open that first. So let's say test, select location. I will just quickly write code now. System dot set properties, not properties, it is property WebDriver dot driver, oh sorry, WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver Thereafter you need to specify path where's your driver is. So my driver is present on E drive, drivers slash Chrome driver. Paste it here. All right. Next task is web driver. That's the interface. Okay, can you see that as soon as I say control space, I'm getting an option from where to import. The reason why I'm getting this option because I already added Selenium dependency, Selenium-Java dependency in my POM. So driver object is equal to new Chrome driver. See, Chrome driver. Okay. Open the URL driver.get. Specify URL here, http:// no, redbus.in. All right. After opening that URL, close it. Yeah, I have to click on here, this drop down list which is allowing me to select a location. Or what we'll do is let's run this test first. Let's open that URL into a browser and see what it shows. All right, so by default location I see is Pune, but what I want is I want to inspect this element and click. So let's go to Firefox. I will open that URL in Firefox. Let's close this window. Open Firebug. The website is still loading. I hope it is not issue with the browser. Okay, let's go here. Click on that option. So what is it? It is a div tag containing a span. Span means that you can see that location icon. Second is div, which is actually the location chosen. Third is the div geo drop down arrow. So I wanted to click on this geo drop down arrow. Okay, so after clicking on this geo drop down arrow, I have to click on Mumbai. So let's write a script. First click on the drop down arrow, driver.find element by dot class name. The class name I copied is this geo drop down arrow dot click. Okay, guys, here I haven't verified one thing is that geo drop down arrow is unique or not. So you can just do that. Go here, select CSS, and the syntax for CSS is write a tag name directly. Sorry, write a class name with starting with a dot. So dot class name, say enter. It is one matching node. That means it is unique. Let's move on. Now what I want is I want to inspect that Mumbai. So click on here, right click on Mumbai, inspect element with Firebug. Okay, that might be, see, this is gray color. Gray, this is like faded out. That means, it is not visible. I'm clicking on the drop down option. My browser is kind of slow. Okay, can you see that now it is not faded out, it is shown properly. that means this part is now visible. If I click somewhere else, it gets invisible, and you can see that hide class is getting added to the element. Okay, just focus on here. I'm clicking this option. Oops, it's taking time, my browser. And so, okay, can you see that hide class is now removed from the div which is having id is HC. Okay, so if I click somewhere else, automatically hide class will get added to this div. Can you see that hide class is now added? So if I manually go and double click here, and in Firebug actually gives an option to edit the HTML runtime. So what I will do is I will just remove that hide class, and now that element is now shown. But this change is temporary change, and that will help me to now it is enabled, so you can go ahead and inspect the remaining elements. I am interested into a span which is having text as a Mumbai. I don't see any other ID or a class name or anything else. Yeah, one thing is there is a li is having data label equal to Mumbai, and I think I can click that attribute and value for locating that location. There is another UL which is having li is Telangana. UL stands for unordered list, and li is list item. You should know the basic HTML, that is a So let's go to Selenium. In the class path, class name, this is done. After clicking on that, I will say driver dot find element by dot CSS selector I will use, because I'm using attribute name equal to value. So in square bracket, I'm just writing, in square bracket I will write what attribute name, attribute equal to the value. So I just pasted that already. Make sure you are replacing that internal double quotes with a single quote, because double quote, if you want to have a double quote inside double quote, you will have to write a slash. That's another way around, workaround. So on Mumbai I want to click. All right, I'm done with clicking in Mumbai. So next is what? See, I'm clicking on Mumbai, assume. So after clicking, wait for some time, that Pune has to change to Mumbai, So let's inspect that text Mumbai. So what is it? It is having ID as a geolocation chosen. I just copied that. I wanted to read the text. So driver dot find element by dot ID, because it has a ID. Okay, and on that element I will say get text. Get text is going to return me the text of that element. So string text is equal to, or the location chosen, location chosen is this location. Now I will just print that location, or you can compare. Basically, I wanted to compare. We already learned assertion twice, so let's use that. Asset equal, the actual location is location chosen, and what I'm expecting is I'm expecting Mumbai. Okay, sometimes this get text may return some extra spaces before or after of the text. So what I will say after get text, I will say trim. So sorry, trim will remove the left and right spaces after before and after of the text. So this is my test case. Let's run this test case. Okay, we will need to take a hard stop here. It's already 10:30. So we will be continuing the same topic, TestNG and Maven, in tomorrow's session. Today's session was mainly focusing on Maven, but tomorrow's session will mainly focus on TestNG. But still, from both the topic, there are lots of things that we have to learn. So it may take more, maybe 2 sessions just to cover TestNG and Maven. So can you see that Mumbai is selected? and let's go to the test case and see. Yeah, today is Friday, right? Next session will be on Monday. Yes, Rishikesh. So on Monday or Tuesday we will have a test also. So till that time, please go through all the video recordings till the today's topic. I will also include Maven in the test. Okay. So system.set proper. Okay, this test case is passed. The actual text and expected text got matched. Oh, my bad. I forgot to write a failure message. So um, location selection field. Okay, and automatically TestNG will add this is the actual and this is the expected that way. So I don't have to write it. So that's all. So this is how you can get started with a Maven project. If you have gone through those video, I think most of those video are talking about the Maven project only. I haven't created any simple project in those videos that I shared. So please do some practice on Maven project. Okay. Remember what you need to do in pom.xml. This is the most important part. Dependencies tags, then first dependency, then another dependency. You can actually alter their sequence also. It doesn't matter what sequence you are writing. You can write Selenium first and then TestNG, or TestNG first then Selenium. I don't have any error in pom.xml. Make sure that, let's say if I'm giving some incorrect name, let's say I'm giving something like something like this, and I will say control S. So Maven will try to, Maven will go to internet. It will just click on here, just go to progress, and say it will say you error, saying that this is like common chances of getting error, that artifact is not found. So maybe because you have given something wrong. Okay, let's say the group name is incorrect, artifact id is incorrect, or the version is incorrect. That way you have done some mistake. Or another problem is you might not be connected to internet. That is second reason why it may not work. First is you have done some mistake. 6.9.10, my bad. Okay, this is how we do a mistake. We write incorrect version or a name or a group id. Make sure you are not doing any syntactical mistake in writing XML. That's one. Make sure you are connected to internet. That's second. And let's say you are getting error, and you wanted to retry downloading that jar file. Just right click on a project, say Maven. Okay, right click on project, Maven, update project. Click here, force update snapshot. Click here and then say OK. So what it will do is it will retry downloading those jar files and those configuration. Can you see that it is now going through online all that pom files, and it is like rechecking everything, rechecking all the libraries I have. Nothing is missing, and that way. So you can try that if you are getting error, but make sure you are not doing any mistakes, any syntactical mistake, any typing mistake, anything. Make sure you are connected to internet. And third option is, if you are trying in some company's internet, if you're trying this code in your office, there might be chances that Maven might be blocked in your office, maybe due to firewall restrictions or something. So there are chances that Maven might be blocked. So make sure you are able to open search or maven.org website, maven.apache.com, maven.org website also. So if you are able to open this website, that means Maven is not blocked in your internet. I have seen people reporting Maven is not working because uh, because of some issue, and at the end we conclude that Maven is blocked because by their IT administrator. So you also need to check that thing if you are working at your office. That's all for today. One question I see from Piyush about environment variable that I will cover tomorrow. Then how to verify hidden elements. So as I showed you some, this is the way I have showed you. Guys, see, if just click on here, automatically that elements gets visible, and on visible element you can perform tap and something like that. Let's say I'm clicking on Mumbai. So this is what I just now did. Okay. Other option is, guys, see, on in Interacting with a hidden element means we cannot directly perform click on a hidden element, right? We can locate that element because it is there in HTML. It may have ID, it may have class name, or it may have some locator. You can locate an element, but you cannot perform a click. Okay. Um, so you can only interact with those elements which are displayed on a page. Interact in the sense clicking and selecting some value or typing something like that, I'm saying. I hope I cleared your query, Piyush. I think this is second time I answered this query. Swapna, you have any question? Let me stop the recording. Thank you everyone for attending this session.